Greetings, ladies and gentle players. It is the last Monday this December of 2021, making it a wonderful day for murder. And yet, if it's a wonderful day for murder, why do I have this board in front of me, you may be wondering? Well, that's because I've been playing some games over the course of the last couple of weeks, and darn it, I just keep noticing a couple of things. People who just don't know how to murder properly. It's a real crying shame. So I thought as we head into good old 2022, let's do a little bit of a review on some of the right ways to murder and some of the wrong ways to murder. Just like there is a right way to find people to play Go with and the wrong way to find people to play Go with. The right way to find people to play Go with is on BadukClub, where you can find people in your area with their handy dandy little map here like, hey, check that out. There is a Toronto Go Club that meets on Sundays from 1 to 4 p.m. I now know this thanks to Baduk.club. And if I wanted to make my own club, for example, well, maybe I can pick up a bunch of good old affordable sets here for like 20 friggin' bucks for nice little sets and what has you. And then I can put my dot back on the map. And everyone will know they can come there to play Go at whatever time. They got a store, they got a map. Why on earth haven't you gone to Baduk.club yet? If you have not already done so, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and check them out. Thank you as always to them for in part sponsoring these videos. So these games are taken from my own games. This one on my Turtles account that I just ranked back up to 7. Well, actually no, I ranked up to 7 on this account 7 on for the first time. And yeah, in this set, I noticed I'm black and I'm white in this particular game. That my opponent, he wants to be a murderer. He does, man. And you know what? I respect that. I respect that he wants to kill things. He wants to be aggressive. He wants to take your opponent's stones off of his board. These are all fine things to do. These are all wonderful things to want to accomplish. But he's a little bit sketchy on how to go about that. He plays here. I'm not really a fan of this particular sequence. It's fine. It's whatever. I approach his corner here quite normally, as you would expect, right? This here is not a problem, right? And this is where we're going to have to start getting into some really important reminders here. If your opponent approaches your corner, you don't get to murder them because they've approached your corner. If your opponent pincers you, if you pincer your opponent, yeah, you don't get to just flat out kill your opponent just because you pincered them. See, these things tend to result in equal results. I think you know. So if we're playing a Joseki, that's going to get an equal result. Why do you think they should be dying? That's not how. That's not really how groups get killed, you know. But my opponent here, he pincers me. Great. I jumped out. Fantastic. He followed. Okay. I'm just settling. So far, everything's all fantastic. Doesn't look like anything is wrong with what's going on here. I attach. He pulls back. Okay. I follow. He plays the Hane. And I decide to cut because I felt, yeah, I can just go ahead and cut here because this seems pretty solid and, you know, we're good. He drops down. I go ahead and be like, hey, I'm going to just settle here. And it looks like so far we're kind of in agreement that we're going to settle, except this move here very much says he wants to actually kill me and not settle. Otherwise, he'd play like something like here. and go into like a variation like this or something to keep like a lot of pressure on this group or something. Maybe even grab some extra liberties here first or something before coming on out. But yeah, he's like, I'm going to drop down because, the 2 stones. I'm like, okay, fine, we defend that. And defend that. And now we get to this position where he is plumb on the 2nd line, which is very big problem. He squeezes me. Okay. Goes ahead and takes that. Plants a little clamp here. Again, so far so good. I drop down. He does too. So far so good. I jump out. He does too. I think. No, I'm sorry. I lied. I threw in here first. And then played here. And then did that. And then did that one. There we go. So it looks like my base here is solid. He can never push and cut through me because he dies instantly with the main group, right? Like if he tried to, oops, go away. If he tries to push and cut here, for example, there's the Atari here. Into what are you going to do next? Like there's like a lot of really bad Aji here, right? So you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful about that. So I jump out because I'm fine. I've got a base here. I'm on the outside. Everything's fantastic. He's trying to surround me. All right, I'll just make sure my shape's fine. But he's still trying to kill me. I approach this corner. I have a base. I'm out. And he's still trying to kill me. Simply because he wants something to die. But because I'm obviously not going to be dead anytime soon, I make sure my group on the outside is safe. And then I make sure my group on the left-hand side is safe. And at this point, you have to wonder, what on earth was the point of all of this? What did Black actually get here? Why is he starting this fight to try to kill a group he can't possibly kill? And it's because he does want to kill me, regardless of whether or not it's possible. But assuming mistakes aren't made, the profit for Black now, a little bit larger, please, is like 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. I'd rather count in even numbers. So 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, let's say 18, 20, 2, 4, 6. Maybe he has like 26 points. That is a problem. That is a big problem. Because the upper left-hand corner, which is pretty solid at this point, is looking like 3 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we got 15 points there. Depending on how endgame goes, it could be 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, plus Comey, 26. That's not good. That is a problem when this is your only territory. Especially because, you'll take note, this group is still attackable, and this group is still attackable too, right? So, we've put ourselves in a bad way by taking maybe a corner down here, maybe not, open to invasion, and having these 2 weak groups on the board as well that are attackable. White's not really attackable because, again, this is a bit of a scam. He can't ever cut here or he is a dead man, right? So this is essentially the equivalent of White already has this on the board. So we're out. We've got shapy stuff. Might even have an eye like literally right here. And this group is nice and solid too. So yeah, it took a fight that didn't make sense. Didn't really gain anything from it. Which has put him in a very, very bad way. Like, you can't just try to kill someone for approaching your corner simply because they approached your corner. right? That's not how any of this works. So the question then becomes, how does it work? Well, you see, even if you really, really want to be an aggressive player and kill things, it really helps if there are other considerations on the board that your opponent has to deal with. And that is how things are going to get killed. Or you've set up something large, they step into it, you attack them, and then they potentially get killed. Or there's like exchanges that can be made, and then one person's taking exchanges that aren't as big as the other person's. And, things can die that way. Let's look at some of the examples. This example, let's see, this is our 6-on game. I'm white again. And, right, yeah, here I remember he didn't play the Chinese for some reason. He just backed off star point. It's whatever. Game begins off pretty easily. He 3-3s me because, that's the thing everyone does right now. Played the old Joseki, which is not advisable because this makes my wall immortal. We don't usually do that. We usually do this one. That way we have some kind of chance of attacking this, and we haven't made this exchange, which now makes this shape a little bit more immortal. No difference between this and this is very, very important if you're going to play the 3-3 invasions. And if you're not capable of, riding that little line between, hey, this is reducible and this is now immortal. Big difference. Bit of a difference there. So yeah, I played that. I have no idea what this move was supposed to be, but so I had to go ahead and settle. He took his corner. I decided to go in big. I went in big for influence because I've already got influence here. And now here is where we're starting to fight. But I'm fighting with purpose, right? So here, I play the Hane, creating a cutting point. And he does not do that one, sorry. He plays the Hane, I cut him, and I decide to make this exchange. Now, I know I could make this because there's nowhere to go for him. If he connects here, my corner's huge. And if we play this way, he can't really play this way, right? Because that's double Atari. And then those are just dead. Well, you'd probably play here first, actually, and then this. So, yeah, he can't really Atari me down. I realized I could probably play this way, but I only wanted the influence. So I'm like, Atari. And now we are off to the races. I have Sente at this point. I make a big area here. So you can kind of see that I've got a wall here, that I've got a wall here. I'm trying to get like a sector line going on in here. That way this is nice and big because influence is Bay. He threatens me. Threat number 1 is a scam. It just wants me to turn. Oops. Hello? Yeah, it wants me to turn so he could get like some kind of easy influence in the middle kind of thing going on here for better reductions. Don't fall for it. He wants to cut the second line. I say that go ahead and do so. Because that was a complete scam. Take a forcing move, and then I take a big point. Now, it's at this point, he has to invade me or he's going to lose the game. Truthfully, he's probably already lost the game because the bottom is too large and I can grow up into the center of the board. Because like you can imagine, right? Like something as simple as this and suddenly like, oh my dear God, what have you allowed white to build? It's absolutely insane. But he decided to come in. And now because he's completely surrounded, I'm really, really thick. Now I can potentially kill something. Right? Because I've got all these friends around. If you don't have like all these friends around, you don't really have a chance of killing something like in the first game where my opponent just tried to randomly kill me simply because I played a Joseki. Like I approached a corner and for that he wanted me to die. But he doesn't have friends in the area, so there's no chance of that happening, right? Here, I've got friends in the area, so I can approach him. And now, no matter what he does, like, he has to live with this area. But you can't. Because, like, there's no forcing moves here. So trying to live here is very, very, very difficult. Even if you did, admittedly, even if you did, it's just going to kind of, like, seal this area off, and then this area is going to be territory, like, throughout here. And that's just going to be, you know, big bad news anyway. But, okay, sure, whatever. He tries to struggle to protect the cutting points. There should be an extension, not Nahane, but oh well, it worked out in the end. And from here, as long as I don't do anything crazy, protect my shapes, he's dead in the middle. Because he went point blank into my really, really strong area. He couldn't really handle my really, really strong area. And he just got smacked. Even here, for example, he's got something out of it, but again, like I mentioned, now this area's grown too. So we can just go and kill that as well. Because again, I've got a lot of friends in the area. That's how you kill things. One way you kill things. If they jump into an area and you're really, really strong in that area, then you could do a lot of really, really great things to ensure they can't live in that area. Okay? Okay. This game here, I'm white again. This time it's 7 done. Follow the same vein. Exact same vein. You'll see that I'm playing dual 4/4s again. They're doing 3/4s and invading my 3/3. I mean, Christ, everybody is right now. More on that later. I'm just picking up territory. I'm playing the I don't care Jiseki, where they can take Sente, I'm going to get influence, and then, you know, good luck reducing the influencers. Double 3/3, yep, You just saw that. What's really crazy here is, I think you just saw this in my last basics game. And, I mean, whether it's 7Q, 5Q, 5 done, 7 done, I mean, they're playing the same frickin' thing. So yeah, here I prioritize Sente to make a bit of a bottom line to play like a heavy framework game this time. Keep approaching. He's keep giving me more influence because he doesn't believe in influence this game, I guess. Only cares about them sweet, sweet corners. I mean, okay. Sure, I mean, I can see that. AI says that's supposed to be... Okay, the Gomi's broken, so I'm up by 300 points. No. But I mean, yeah, AI says, you know, you should be able to reduce all this and it should be A-okay. Not a problem, right? So there he goes, tries to reduce. Now, to attack this, instantly lean on the thing that you're not interested in, but it does have nice follow-ups if he ignores me, puts him on second line, right? Like, no one wants that. Just getting 1, 2, 3 points there with, like, all of these stones, that's disgusting, right? Nobody wants that. You can't win a game just running on second line like that, can you? No, of course not. That's stupid. So, alright, he attaches. This could be here, but I wanted to play a little more solid. So it's extended. And then jumped. I'm now over his group. And this is where things take a turn. Because I don't have him surrounded. Therefore, there's a good chance this is going to be able to live. But keep your eye on those stones. Okay? Keep your eye on those stones. He comes out. Defending, taking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines of territory. He comes up, I'm out. Getting my points. He's coming out, so am I. This shouldn't matter if I read this correctly, right? Not a problem, double Atari, so he can't cut through me. He's trying to get something here, like if I play maybe this one, he can do this, and then get connected. Like, that's pretty much his only hope, I think. Though even that one's pretty weak, because I could still do things like this one, to be honest. Like, I don't know. Not sure if I could play this branch. I didn't go for it. I just connected. He's trying to settle. You see it? This group isn't completely alive yet, right? Because we've got things like this that are available, yeah? You have like maybe an IE here, like maybe 0.5, because that could easily be worth like no eyes right now. So the cap is pretty big, but note that the cap is now on the 8th line from the top. So he has to live. This is a mistake completely. I average usually one a game. But note I'm not double downing on this thing and trying to do something stupid, right? I'm not like, hey, well, I guess we're this far, so I'm just gonna hope something works here now and just get myself completely reduced. Like, I'm not going all in on a thing that doesn't work. I recognized that this move wasn't going to do anything, so I tried to keep as much of the 7th there as I possibly could. So we're just kind of enduring right now. But hey, we've got a poke. And a poke, because now we're, 9, 10. And as he's struggling against this, you can see the top just being built over and over and over again, right? While we keep our bottom territory. So now he tries to reduce. But it's the same thing that we just saw in the previous game, where here, I didn't have the friends available to be able to surround and kill this. But by leaning on it, getting those sweet, sweet caps, because for some reason he didn't keep jumping out. I don't know why. 7 down, he didn't keep jumping out. He decided to be surrounded and live locally. Very, very strange stuff. But yeah, because he didn't do that, suddenly, friends have completely surrounded the top area. So when he goes back and tries to live there, where's he going to go? Where's he going to go? There's like 2 eyes he needs. But how's he going to get them? He tries to run away. You can't connect that way. Forcing move. This is still not alive yet. So he needs to make sure that he's alive here. But because he has to respond to these kind of moves, while he's trying to get away, oops, he's cut off. There's nowhere to go. Nowhere to go, nowhere to go, nowhere to go. If he only had to respond to this group, maybe he could live. Maybe he could live. If this area wasn't completely surrounded by white stones, he could certainly live. But because he's looking after both of them and there's so many white stones in the area, now, unlike that first game, he's not going to be able to live here. So he goes and tries to make the cut. We play the Atari, connect up because ladders aren't working, so if he does this, it's fine. Like, I'm not greedy. Taking 4, 5, 6th, 7th, and 8th line is completely fine with me. That's good enough, as far as I'm concerned. Oh, he's trying to get out. Doesn't work. I get to push through and cut because I can Atari in this. He defends that. And then we just go ahead and net, and now that's dead. So, yeah, gone. Ton. Middle is completely toast. There's nothing he can do. And even now, there's still a non-zero chance that maybe this can still get killed. This is not completely a live group yet. And that is another good example of how things can die. Not because I approached a corner and I decided, meh. Or I invaded an area that was completely open and you decide, meh. No, it's only because of other considerations like, hey, there's 2 groups at once here that are having to live. Hey, there's a completely surrounded area that you're trying to live in. Like, yeah, that is how things can die. Now, the next one, this next example is going to be super, super complicated. But because we went over the examples that we've seen so far, I think you'll be able to follow along, okay? So here's this game. 7-down game again, I was white. I'm white in all of these games. I don't know why that's the thing, but okay. So yeah. Double 4-4, and I get 3-3. Obviously, play the same Joseki. And that should be reassurance to everybody who's like struggling with the 3-3. Don't struggle with it. Simple as that. I have been playing this sequence in like so many of my games at all levels. It's fine. Anyone who tells you otherwise doesn't know what they're talking about. Simple as that. I can play it at 5-dan, 6-dan, 7-dan, 8-dan. Not sure about 9-dan yet. Haven't played one of them. But probably an amateur 9-dan I could probably play the sequence against. Even the AI, it's not bad. Not bad. So he plays, he invades into my Kobayashi. It plays an invasion, into a Kobayashi. I approach. He's going for territory. So I'm going for expand. He's trying to attack. Now, so far, it looks like we might have a peaceful game where he's going to grow and I'm going to reduce, and it's going to be fantastic. Kind of exciting game so far. He's building. I'm like, okay, you should take this, and then I'll get a base, and you can keep growing. It's gonna be great. But he plays here. This is the example of trades that I mentioned. Because I said, you need to not let me Hane ahead of 2 and 3 stones, and he said that you need to respond to me here. Now, I could respond here and defend, but no, I played here specifically because I felt Hane ahead of 2 and 3 stones is important. So I played it, and he was right. Reason why he's right here is because there's no good variation. Like, I wouldn't play this and get into this kind of result. I'd probably play something like this one instead. And now you can't play this one, or you're deeply screwed. You're not going to try to break through here, or, I mean, what are you doing? This is not good shape, as I'm sure you know. I mean, you could play here at this point, but it's not so good. It's like, but I can push and cut now. It's like, well, yeah, you can. I suppose that's technically something that you can do. But, I mean, is this the shape that you want? Probably not so much, right? So, okay, he jumps out. Rather than do that. Cool. I connect. And he says, I want to cut your 2 stones. But cutting 2 stones that aren't surrounded, remember, because the previous 2 examples, I've been hammering that one home, right? Well, of like, okay, the group's not surrounded, therefore it's probably not going to die, right? But speaking of surrounding, hey, I can surround your corner. Like, are you really going to cut me now? And, like, let me do this? Like, I don't know if you even live through this. That's just like a ko, right? Like, at best, that's a friggin' ko for the beginning of the game. Nothing's worth that. I'll kill you. So, okay. He's not cutting me. He's going after my shape, but weak still. So we turn, try to kill a corner again. He says no. Make sure he can't cut through. This one, I'm not sure if I really needed at first, to be honest. But I think it's a good solid move. He cuts me. We turn this corner into no territory. Like, this is just going to be like 1, 2, 3 points right now. So in exchange for having the corner reduced to 3 friggin' points, maybe 4, he is going after stones that he can't kill. Like, I could literally play here, here, into here right now. So what was the exchange? What was the exchange? Why is he cutting me? He's trying to cut and kill something he can't cut and kill in exchange for having no territory in one of his opening corners. It's a bad exchange. He's falling victim to the same guy, that 6-down we saw. He's trying to kill something just because he wants to kill it, you know? And he's sacrificing to be able to do that. But it's not a good idea. Going after his shape first. Forcing move. Forcing move. It's like, hey, what are we doing here? What is the point of anything that we just did? Now, I'm not leaning here because I want to attack it. He leans on me. I'm like, hey, can I kill your 2 stones? Or can I attack your 3 stones? He said no. I asked him if he's certain about that. He said yes. Then I said, well, fine, I'll surround another one of your corners. Because again, think about it. 3 or 4 points here and a completely surrounded corner here in exchange for 3 stones here. That's a pretty good deal for white. That's a really good deal for white. So, all right. Here we're getting into a little bit of an attack. Don't worry about the exact moves involved in this one. Suffice to say, I live in his corner, and he lives in the top as well. There, he's alive, I'm alive, we're all alive. Cool, great, fantastic. Now, small knight, shape problems, also how you can get killed. If you're relying on a connection that does not exist, when that connection gets swept out from underneath you, bad things can happen. So these stones were already anticipating being dead. But by playing here, suddenly the question is, are you still going to be able to hold on to everything? And he said, put pressure on, create cutting point. He backs off, we Atari, and just proceed. Oops. And we just proceed to get Sente moves on in here before pushing and cutting. So these 3 are dead, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are dead too, and growing the left-hand side. I think personally that's better for me, giving up this in exchange for this. I like it. I think it's fantastic. He Ataris me, we take. He's going into this branch where I'm getting like almost 20 points with Komi. So we're just going to go bish, bash, bosh, skadoosh. Oh, no, he didn't play that. He played this one. And now here, I admit, I made a miscalculation. I make a miscalculation here, and I freely admit that I make it. I decide to see what odds he is here still. He's threatening a ladder. Dangerous, dangerous, dangerous. So can't let that happen. Have to keep what I killed. And now it looks like I've just enlarged the area I've given him for almost nothing in exchange. And here's where I miscalculate. Because I did this to gain liberties because I realized, hey, this exists. With this move playable, he can't kill this area anymore. He can't kill it. Like, he pushes here, we Atari. And now we've connected out. I thought with this dead and this reviving, it was going to be okay. But I accidentally just killed my bottom group in exchange. Which is really, really weird. I didn't mean to do that. Like, he plays here. I thought there was something that I could do here still. Apparently not. Apparently not. But small knight connection to another group. So, bish, bash, bosh. And now I've got another attack going on. If he only has, in this game, if he only has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, maybe 12 points with the upper left, the upper right, the bottom right, then these stones dying here, I mean, that's not the end of the world. Because remember, this could be like 20 points, maybe 26 with the Hane. Like with this here, this is 4, 8, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, about 20. So 26 with Komi. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So this group here, almost all of these stones here, is equal to this corner. Because 13 times 2, 26. 20 plus 6 Komi, 26. So, miscalculation, but not the end of the world kind of miscalculation. So I felt the game was still reasonable. So go ahead and take the cut. Cut, hello? He's trying to prevent me being able to, if he goes in defense here, right? He's also looking at this kind of thing and the imminent demise of this middle group. So he's trying to keep it strong. But now he's running and running. I figured this was going to live until he made this move. This was a weird move. I thought he was going to play something like this one for shape or something. But he kicked me, which is not Sentai, and doesn't make shape. So we poke him back. He's trying to reverse Sentai, okay. But he's not defending, which is freaking nuts. He's being greedy again. Like, he should do something like this one if he wants to try to live. Instead, overplay into shape problem. Now he's dead. Because no matter how you look at it, you're not getting away with this. Like, how are you going to live with this? Maybe by giving me the entire left-hand side of the board to kill one stone and hopefully get 2 eyes? Hard to say, man. So he peeps me, which is a scam. So I ignore it. And now he's dead. No way he can come back to life here. So we just go ahead and steal that off. And now this entire middle's dead, so the game's over. It still goes on for a while because, I mean, they always keep struggling. But yeah, game's done. Not much to really say about that. Suffice to say, things just keep dying over and over and over again. But it's not because I decided I'm killing something. You know? It's not because I decided I'm killing something. So much died here, like these stones are dead, those are dead, that's dead, the everything in the center is dead, this is dead. The only reason why that happened is because we made some exchanges, and because I said he needed to defend something, and he chose not to. Like at the very beginning. Where was that? The very beginning, right? I said, defend this, I'll play something over in here, you can grab this, and then we'll just keep playing a normal game. He said we're not going to do that. I don't have to defend my cutting point, so I asked if that was true, and then he changed his mind awfully fast. By not protecting his cutting point, he suddenly wound up with no points for himself, which was very, very bad. And in all throughout this, I'm not trying to really kill anything else, right? I'm kind of, profiting and pressuring. I didn't play here thinking, oh, hey, yeah, I'm going to play here because I can surround the corner. No, it's just like, okay, you can take this if it means I can surround your corner. We're making exchanges. Only I think my exchanges are larger than his. And it turns out by the end of the game that was true. I was getting better exchanges from these particular deals. That one, however, does require a nice firm foundation of basics where you have to be able to know the value of an area. Even if you don't count it specifically, you have to know about how large something is versus something else so you can make these kinds of exchanges, right? That's why we're practicing it all throughout the Q levels. That way we have a fairly good understanding, like, okay, this is small, this is big, or this is bigger than this. So if he's trying to fight for this, but I'm trying to fight for this, and he ignores me for that, I can ignore him in return for the bigger thing, right? This is what we're trying to build towards in our basics, being able to do kind of things like this. That way we can, like I mentioned, this is a 7-dan game, where we can play this and it makes perfect sense because we've been able to identify, big areas and cutting points. That's how you play this game. You get to here just by understanding big areas and cutting points. If you really understand that, then this game isn't confusing for you. Like, why did I go back and play here? Because this is all settled. This is all settled. So if, hypothetically, he just lets me kill this and take the entire top. That's good. That's big. And it takes away his turn in Sentai. So big follow up, and then resuming our attack. Right? You see how we get there? You see how the basics kind of, come together? So we can do this kind of cool murdering. It's not because we're amazing and we've just decided that we can just kill whatever we want because, yeah, we've studied, right? And anything can die if we really want to. No, you can recognize our opponents making like small exchanges or trying to kill the unkillable. And we just kind of, profit off of that until they're dead. Or hopelessly outmatched in terms of points. But yeah, that's how things die. Not this way. Where like you approach a corner or you invade something and then you just then you just try to kill it, even though it's a completely open area. Because there's exchanges being made, literally like here. There's exchanges being made, literally like back up in here with that not protecting. Or there's the large areas that are being surrounded, like the second two games that we went over. That's how things die. And I hope you have a better understanding of that sort of idea and are able to use that maybe a little bit in your own games. But I wanted to go over a nice little refresher course on how things can legitimately be attacked, how things can legitimately be killed. So you can use that going off into the good old 2022. So I hope this was a good refresher course for all of you. Hope you learned a little something from it. And as always, I'll see you next time. Take care, everybody.